welcome to another episode for the MMA Monday here on the Funkin' Pod. It's Monday, and you know what it means. We talk about all things MMA, not just a recap podcast like any of those 5 million others out there, but also trying to look at what actually happened in regards to the media. How did the fighters use the media, utilize the media? What are the storylines coming out of this past weekend's fights? And let's just jump right into it. Main event, UFC 271, Israel, the last style bender, Adesanya versus Robert the Reaper Whittaker. By the way, the Reaper, not the coolest name for someone who's like more of an introvert nerd, isn't it? I'm just saying. Doesn't mean I'm hating Robert Whittaker, by the way. I'm smiling because I saw the meme that like everybody who says that Robert Whittaker got robbed is like usually white, just like me. I'm not saying he got robbed, by the way. So I'm okay with the outcome of the fight. I think Adesanya had it, 3-2, maybe 4-1, but 3-2. Yeah, I thought Adesanya had it. I wasn't particularly impressed by either of those two, to be honest. I was impressed that Robert Whittaker didn't fold because he looked really out of it, like between round 1 and 2. I'm like, oh god, is he giving up now? So that was impressive that he didn't fall and that he fought through and that he like made it competitive towards the end. But it was not a great fight. Nevertheless, of course, Adesanya used the media over the whole weekend, like first of all to show support for Joe Rogan, so props there, for using the platform. And then secondly, of course, he said, well, Cannonier is next. He won today, so he's next. Other than that, not many storylines coming out of it. Like, I think the biggest joke or the biggest, I don't know, thing we take away was then afterwards, on Valentine's Day, Adesanya tweeted like a picture of like a guy wrapping his hands, and it says like John Jones wrapping the gift for his wife on Valentine's Day or for his fiance on Valentine's Day or something like this. So he's picking or poking fun at John Jones again. Robert Whittaker, I mean, as always, like the introvert, calm. He's like, he thought he won, but okay, back to the drawing board, basically improving, getting better, coming back, beating Adesanya next time. It's just not that exciting, unfortunately. Like, he's not doing much that makes me want to follow his journey. But to be fair, before he did it via performances. So the last 3 fights before the Adesanya fight were good fights, of course. But I think he could just do more so that the fans really embrace him. I think because he clearly is above the rest in the division, skill-wise. So personally, he should catch up to some extent at least. Like, damn. And I'm an introvert too, so I understand it. But it's just like, oh, Rob, come on, do something that makes me like want to care even more about you. Something like Tuivasa, for example. In the co-main event, Tuivasa took like all the shots from Derrick Lewis, like I think 2 clean ones at least, and like a few more that I know gazed him, I guess. Derrick Lewis turned into a wrestler for a moment, which was also pretty cool. I was like, yeah, Derrick. And then Tuivasa showing that his name Tai comes from Muay Thai. Yes, I worked on that for a long time. Actually, Tuivasa said it himself. Like the Muay Thai elbow from the clinch, very nice. I think that you train all the time in Muay Thai, so nicely done. And he sends Derrick Lewis packing, and then of course embraces it. The biggest fail, though, of course, was that he didn't do a shoey on the cage. Like, no shoey on the cage. You just had the biggest win of your career. No shoey on the cage, man. But other than that, of course, he uses the media very wisely. He has his Tuivasa thing going on, and then his branded stuff and the branded shoes waiting outside of the cage. So that was well done. Also, usually it sucks when people say, I fight anyone, but he was like in the press conference, like, I don't even know who the F is in who the F in the top 5 is right now. I don't care, or whatever. I don't watch fighting. I don't care. So that fits his brand, his persona. So that's cool. So congratulations, Tuivasa, for also using the press conference and the media like well. We also had Jared Cannonier versus Blonde Brunson, and Blonde Brunson like did what not Blonde Brunson did before, like just running for the takedown, like swinging wildly, missing, gassing out, and then getting finished. Like, so that's a throwback to the old Derek Brunson. Yeah, Cannonier afterwards like shouting at Dana White like, Dana, give me the shot, Dana, give me the shot. Yeah, so okay, I guess he gets it now, but it wasn't also that like he. It's hard to care about Cannonier. However, I do think I care about him more than about Brunson, simply because we haven't seen the fight with Izzy yet. But like, you don't know much about Cannonier. He has like this backstory that would be really cool, like how he worked and clawed his back to his way to the UFC. That would be really cool, but he never tells it anyone, right? So it's really I don't know, it's a bit lame that he doesn't like. Let us be part of your journey, man. We wanna hear something. Last fight I'm discussing, I think, is Bobby Green versus Nasser Haqparast, because well, Nasser Haqparast fights out of Hamburg, Germany, and I'm German, so but he never mentioned this actually. He's like more proud of his religious heritage, I believe, rather than of where he's fighting out of. So I don't consider him. Like he also doesn't represent like Germany as a country. I think. Anyways, it was kind of funny to hear like his coaches yelling stuff in German. It's just kind of funny for me to hear it during the fight. They mostly just yelled the time, which is like 3 minutes left, 1 minute 90 seconds left. Like yeah, nice. Maybe give him some other advice. Like the corner work wasn't great in my opinion. But his fight wasn't great. Bobby Green's fight was fantastic, and his corner work was good too, of course. So that was fun. And Bobby Green then afterwards, of course, a little bit expletive again, as always. But this now might actually lead to a main event at a UFC Fight Night. Who knows? John Anik is a proponent for that, and I think many people would love to see that. So he's making the most of the time in the cage as well as outside of the cage. When there's a microphone or a camera in his face, he's making the most of it. So congratulations, Bobby Green. I appreciate that, and people longing to see him. So that's cool. Congratulations there. Yeah, we also okay. Well, of course, Roxanne Modafferi retiring, losing to Casey O'Neill, which was actually a clear loss to Casey O'Neill. Let's be honest. But Roxanne Modafferi also using media wisely. Just being herself, which is nice, and it doesn't work for everyone, but for her, that nerdy thing somehow people started to embrace it. I believe it's a bit cringy at times, but she seems to be really into that stuff, and it's not like a fake cringe thing like with Henry Cejudo. It's like actual. She just likes the nerdy stuff and embraces it, and that's fine. So yeah, Godspeed to Roxanne Modafferi. Now that she's retired, all the best. And Casey O'Neill, of course, then embracing the villain role, the heel role, because she got booed, because she beat the Happy Warrior. Also cool. Also then on Twitter, calling Ariel Helwani out for misspelling her name on Twitter over and over again, which was good. So Casey O'Neill making the most of like the microphone time as well as time on social media and so on. So congratulations there. Good fight. And using the media also very wisely. I appreciate that as well. So she's definitely on the up and coming there. If you look at what's happening next in the UFC, it's my God, it's Johnny Walker versus Jamal Hill is the main event now, the new main event for the UFC Fight Night next weekend or this coming weekend. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Johnny Walker is the clear favorite, like with the betting odds, but I mean, it's like co-main event is Julian Marquez versus Kyle Daukas. Also, no one's making any noise, anything. Johnny Walker, Jamal Hill. Also, no one's doing anything of like, I don't want to say importance. Like, I mean, in the media, like, I don't itch to tune in, and that's kind of sad. I might just tune in because I want to see Jim Miller fight again. Joaquin Buckley is back, but Joaquin Buckley, to be honest, I mean, ever since that highlight reel knockout, it was downhill from there. Against Abdul Razak Al Hassan, who started hot, but then also didn't really, I don't know, do anything after. You see me struggling right now to find anything story-wise to say. Like, why would I care about those fights? It's hard. I'm gonna watch something, I guess, but let me know what you think about those fights. Well, what also happened this past weekend was, of course, one championship. And when you talk one championship, I do a bit more recapping because I assume not too many people talk about one championship, or you might not have seen those people talking about it. So, in the main event of this past one championship event, which was called Bad Blood, I believe, we had the interim heavyweight world championship between Anatoly Malikin versus Kirill Krishenko. It's an interim world championship because the world champion is in a dispute with one championship right now, Arjun Bulla, the Indian champion. And they're supposed to fix their issues at some point, bury the hatchet, but until then they crowned an interim champion. I wonder why they didn't just strip Arjun Bulla, but okay, they wanted to go with an interim champion. And Anatoly Malikin was on a kind of a tear. He's like a bit undersized. He's always the smaller guy in the cage, but of course, like, he's packed like a little. He's not little. He's just a bit smaller than most heavyweights. But he looks like the Hulk though. And Kirill Krishenko was way taller, like way more reach advantage. And so what Anatoly Malikin usually does is, like, he like jumps with his jab, or like with a lead hook, tries to like surprise jump in, then get a hold on him, throw him down, and then ground and pound if possible. And yeah, so Krishenko like was keeping his distance for like the most part of the first round. Anatoly jumped in, missed a few times, and you would think someone like Krishenko, who's got like the reach advantage, right? If Malikin misses, then you gotta do something. But he didn't really do much. He fought scared, and then in the second round, eventually Malikin just landed the jump thing forward, a hook, and put him down and out. So yeah, congratulations, Anatoly Malikin. But I just wonder, why does that always work? Like, is it really so fast? Because it's powerful if it lands, of course, but just like, it's coming. So, but it's easier said than done, obviously, right? Also, Anatoly Malikin is one of the few guys in one championship, even though he doesn't speak English well, I believe, but he's still one of the few who actually like says something on the mic and is like, yeah, and just tries to rally up or the fans, involve people. So good on him for doing this. My favorite fight was the co-main event with Jonathan Haggerty, the General versus Mongol Petty in the Academy, flyweight Muay Thai. Jonathan Haggerty is the guy who gave Rodtang his toughest fight so far, I believe. Rodtang, the guy who's going to fight Mighty Mouse Demetrius Johnson in this mixed rule thing. And there was a brutal, like, 3 rounds. Like, Jonathan Haggerty started round 1 super fast and like was just throwing everything at Mongol Pet. Mongol Pet took it and came back in the second round and threw everything at Haggerty. Haggerty then also adjusting, taking it in round 3 again, and then it was more Haggerty's fight to win. But that was fantastic. What they're throwing at each other, like, they're throwing bombs. Like, it's funny to say in flyweight, I know, but they're throwing like bombs and the flyweight kitchen sink at each other, and like spinning elbows, spinning back fists, downward elbows, jumping elbows, like lots of kicks, of course, as well, but like mostly like the elbow stuff was quite impressive. That's Haggerty's go-to move, is the powerful long teep and then an elbow, and he cut Mongol Pet open, like the blood was everywhere. So that was a great fight. Yeah, congratulations to Jonathan Haggerty, who stays in the top of the flyweight Muay Thai division here. No shame for Mongol Pet, also good fight, but Haggerty was the clear winner here. They both embraced afterwards, but there's no big story coming out of this, like no big call outs or anything, unfortunately. Yeah, what did we have anything else? Oh yeah, of course. Daniel Williams, who had a war as well in his last fight, which was insane. If you haven't seen it, check out the last fight by Daniel Williams, and he fought a Thai legend, like here in Thailand, Dechtamrong So Amnui Sirichok, nicknamed Krurong. And Krurong, I don't know, he must be 40. He looks way older than me, so he must be like somewhere in the 40s. He shouldn't be fighting anymore. Like, I know he works as a trainer at Evolve, in Singapore, so they just paid a man better. He doesn't look in shape anymore. He had a few good moves, a few good moments, but then it was just Daniel Williams, and then he finished the fight with like a body shot, and Krurong just went to the floor, and it's just like that's it. Round 2 knockout. It's just sad to see legends go out like this. So come on, mate, evolve, pay the man more, don't let him fight anymore. He's a legend. He's like, but congratulations to Daniel Williams, of course. Man, he's a force to be reckoned with. Like, I don't know what's missing there to like take the next step, but a few more of those wins, and man, he's exciting to watch. I like Daniel Williams. So if you're into Muay Thai, check out Daniel Williams. It's MMA, but I mean his Muay Thai skills are just really awesome. That body shot also was really clean, really fast. Like lots of pop. Oh, that was pretty nice to see. So check this out. All right, that's the review of one championship. Unfortunately, in one, it's always that the athletes aren't that much into hyping storylines and so on. That's why I do more review of one championship than focusing on storylines. If there's a storyline coming out of it, I'm obviously gonna try to elaborate on it, and there will be some. Next event is I think on February the 25th, so next week. So we'll look forward to on the next MMA Monday. We will analyze what's going to happen next in one championship, because there are some interesting fights coming up that also will involve, I guess, some drama. So we will dive into this then next week. That's it for this week with the MMA Monday. As always, thanks for joining. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, rate this thing, because then more people can find us. Rate it on Google Podcasts, Spotify, and so on. Don't forget, of course, to stay safe if possible. Keep your guard up, and I'll see and talk to you soon. Sawadee Cup.